Your inner child work might not
So
get you a
Anna,
more
super excited to
beautiful
speak to you. As you know,
relationship,
we're talking for
but
like a
I
couple minutes
can.
here.
Refocus on
And just for anyone watching this call
power.com.
here, one of the reasons this is going to be really spectacular for me is most people do this program. I'll usually, if they decide to do a video testimonial for me, they'll do within a month, two, maybe three. It has been over 4 years since you did the program.
Exactly.
So I don't think I mean, maybe we've had a couple text messages back and forth. I think, like here and there every once in a while, but I haven't really spoken to you really in 4 years. I mean, really. So this is going to be all surprises for me, and I'm just really excited and curious to hear how things have changed for you. And I was and just for anyone who watches this call later here, super excited. You already told me you're still doing the practice every single day. That's wonderful.
Yes, I'm doing every single day.
Are you doing 30 minutes every day? Are you doing like 10? Are you doing full 30? Or are you doing kind of parts of it?
No, I'm actually doing full 30 minutes. Maybe in these 4.5 years, I didn't do 2 times, but it was because of COVID. But actually, I'm doing every day, and my husband is very surprised.
Good. So you've
Like
been
I'm doing consistently. Even I just spoke with him in the beginning about my program,
Mhm.
and after he decided to do as well.
Good, good,
So it's really good.
good. So
Mm.
you've been a disciplined soldier.
Yes,
Good, good,
I
good,
am.
good. Okay, good, good. So yeah, you already know I'm going to ask you here again. This is just, again, I'm super excited to hear how things have changed for you. It's been a minute since you spoke, so I'll just start with the first question. Because I always tell people like, sometimes in life you don't get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need,
Need.
right? Yeah, you know that one by
Mm.
now here. So
Go-
just for the benefit of anyone who watches this video here, um, what brought you my way? When we first spoke a few years ago, what brought you my way?
Actually, it was I broke up. I broke up with my boyfriend that time, and I was really devastated. I felt so down. I was crying for over 2 weeks, and after I don't know, I remember I was scrolling on Facebook, and I saw your advertising, and I decided to watch a webinar. And during this webinar, I felt this energy, this powerful energy from you.
Good.
So, I was thinking, I must do it, I must go through this training. I
Mhm.
don't know, I felt it. I just felt it that you will bring me something really nice, really powerful, and I just entered this door, And I
Mhm.
remember you were very specific. You had some questions, questionnaire in the beginning to ask me what is my purpose in this for this training. Many questions, and I found this way to do in very professional way because when you set up a clear image of the customers which you want, you are working with pleasure with them, you know.
Sure. Sure. Good.
Mm.
So then we had our conversation. I don't know if it's interesting the brain works. I can remember like little like I have like these like clear, just brief memories of our time ago. It's been a while, but it's interesting how just there's certain like things just seem like, really just not a big deal, little minutia kind of conversations, but they just stand on the brain. So I didn't realize it'd been quite that long, but it's like I know it'd been a minute here. So anyway, we had our conversation, and I'm super, super curious. So, I mean, I always tell people, I know I'm a stranger to you. I know you don't know me very well. Maybe you watched my webinar, you went to my website, but now, and especially you don't live in the United States, right? You're talking to this guy across the fucking world, and you're kind of putting, I'm having a little fun with you here. You're kind of putting your hopes in him that hopefully he can really get you the fuck out of where you want to be here. So anyway, we had our conversation. After we were done speaking, Anna, I'm super curious. What made you decide to say, what, this is the real deal? Like I feel really great about, like after we spoke, how did you know this was for you? What made you decide
Uh,
to take the leap of faith?
it was just my feeling that you're the real guy, because there are many coaches, there are many people
Sure.
who can help you in different ways, psychologists, but they don't have this energy, this powerful energy of speaking, of motivating people, inspiring people. And I felt it when I came to know about the process. Okay, let me do it. And I was not even thinking what will be after. I just want to go on this path. That's
Okay,
it.
good. Fair enough. So then we started, right? I mean, I have to say this because I find it kind of, again, we live in such an interesting world, Anna, right? You work with people all around the world. You could build a business with somebody who's a stranger to another country, and all of a sudden you become really good friends very fast. So you made full payment, right? And I must have been an interesting experience for you because you're sending payment, via wire transfer across the world, and it's like, okay, let's hopefully, kind of fingers crossed. Hopefully this works out the way I'm kind of
It
hoping this.
will work.
Yeah, so we got started, you and I, and look, for anyone listening here, make this super clear. I know Anna seems very, inspired, powered, motivated, and she's done really amazing here. Just for the benefit of everyone here, and Anna, I think you'll remember when I said this to you when we first spoke. This is not a fucking magic trick. It's challenging. Your brain operates, grows, strengthens very similar to your physical muscles. So I mean, the reason why most people suffer and struggle in life is because they don't treat their brain for what it really is, a different kind of muscle that can be strengthened and evolved. But to do that, you obviously need the right process, or more accurately, the right workout. So we started, right? And I always tell people, I'm not going to solve all your problems in the first week. If 100 pounds is the analogy of your emotional baseline of strength, we're not going to get to 300. I'm not going to make it the fucking Dalai Lama. I'm certainly not that person here, but I'll get you 110 the first week for sure. Maybe even 115. 120 every week, better, faster, quicker, stronger, as long as you keep doing it. And that's real freedom. So we got started. Do you remember how was your first week? Do you remember, like, once we got started, how did you feel like the process was going in the very beginning? Were you a little like, yeah, how was your experience at the very beginning of the program when you first got started? If you remember.
Yeah, I remember very well. I was a bit lost, of course, because I had this pain inside. I was not understanding why it's happening to me, right? Something wrong, I don't know, with world or with me, I don't know, with something. And I started to watch and to speak with you. And day by day, I started to feel better and better. And I really would like to thank you for your constant support. Even I remember it was 11 or 12 already in the night. And I was messaging you, and you were replying very fast. You were jumping on the call. It's really, it was really
I'm excited
amazing.
for you. I'm excited for everyone I work with. It's like, look, you have the right attitude, work hard. Yeah, you had the right attitude. You had the right
Yeah, but
attitude,
this
work hard.
empathy,
Yeah.
not all people have, because after you, I had some different consultation with different people, and when they don't have this empathy, I don't know how they work with people, because this is so much important, to
Yeah.
have this empathy and to give yourself fully to your client, to your customer.
Sure. Yeah. Look, Anna, I'm very aware that when I connect with people, things are not very, as you would say in the United States, things are not very hunky-dory. I'm aware that when I connect with people, they're going through one of their top three, if not maybe even top one, most challenging time they've ever had in their life. I get that. And I also understand they're in a vulnerable state. I also understand that I'm essentially a stranger to them. I get that. So I have to find that happy medium between being empathetic and saying, hey, I can make it very obvious you're in the right place if you're serious, but also I have to find the happy medium between, like, I can't let people waste my time either. There is only one of me. So as long as someone is serious, they show real action. I mean, since you and I have spoken, I do have a book on Amazon called Refocus on Power. Now I'll let people read the book first. I say to them, like, listen, if you read the book first, you're not gonna get the same level of results you
Of
get from
course.
working with me, obviously. But the book will give you a glimpse of what you've been missing, and I guarantee if you read the book, you're going to want to work with me. By the way, for anyone listening here, the name of the book is called Refocus on Power. It's on Amazon. Again, I don't have any problem earning anyone's trust here, so that's what I kind of do now sometimes for people. But yeah, I get it, Anna. I know it's an incredibly challenging time for people. I have to find that, again, that happy medium between, like, understanding that and being empathetic of that, but also, like, listen, we can't fuck around either here. You have to be a serious person. So I'm always happy to start with people at whatever level they're able to do, as long as they're able to do something. I
Of
can't
course.
work with nothing. I can work with something. I can't work with zero. So great. Now, do you remember, Anna, at what point, once we got going, you're getting results, you're getting better every week here. At what point were you able to say to yourself, this is changing my life here. Like I'm never going backwards. Do you remember what point you reached the threshold of My life is never going to be the same. I got this here. All I have to do is keep doing it. At what point did you know you had the process to keep you going?
Um,
For life.
the point, yes, the points were in the beginning, many points, and even now it's happening. Like when I started to get results and some answers from outside, you know, before
You mean the outside up there?
outside of me, outside
Good,
world.
good.
And even I shared, I don't know if you remember, like people who were not so close to me, even they started to say that something was changing around me.
Yeah,
Something
sure.
I look differently, no better. And then I started to get real results already,
Yeah.
in material world. Like I got my apartment in city center, which I wanted so much. At the same time, in the parallel, I got a job offer. The salary was already doubled. Yes. And
Double?
it was doubled already.
Wow,
Yes.
good.
And after 1 year, I met my future husband. So it
That's
was
amazing.
incredible. And I never thought that giving up or losing hope in this program, or maybe it's not working. No, I just was doing. In the beginning, I
Yeah.
was just doing. I was just not even thinking it will work, not work. I was just doing. And
Good.
this is
Don't
the
think
thing.
like Top Gun. Don't think, just do. Good attitude.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you never know. You don't. Maybe sometimes you feel things, sometimes not. I just need to do it. And when I was doing consistently, I was really getting the results. Even I was not waiting for them. It
Mhm.
just was coming to me just like that. And even I remember when we were creating this list with you about the qualities,
Yeah.
the most important qualities and values in your future husband, you said to me, maybe it will be not the 100%, but maybe around 95, but it will be this kind of partner which you want.
Mhm.
And I got more than 100, and
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
It's wonderful. Yeah, you deserve it. You know, I'll tell you why, like I can say that to people when they start the program and why, and I still maintain this is still the beginning for you here of where this will go as long as you stick with things here. Even before we spoke, Anna, you were clearly, doing well in your life in certain areas. And I always tell people, like, if you live your whole life here, and by the way, this is for anyone listening here, for anyone out there, if you live your whole life here, this might not be a bad place. Maybe you're doing kind of okay in your career, your business, maybe friendships or whatever that is. If you live your whole life here, but everyone's life is relegated by their emotional strength. Remember, when you speak to people, when you make conversations, when you make decisions, you're always going to be, for lack of a better phrase, at the mercy of your emotional state. When you feel good, you
Mhm.
speak good, but when you don't feel so good, you say things you shouldn't say or do. So I always tell people, if you lived your whole life here, like what you accomplished, but you lived here because that was your emotional baseline, right? And let's just say over the next several weeks, you start elevating that emotional baseline from here to here. And again, we're not trying to go from 100 to 300, right? But let's just say over 6 months, you go from like, if 100 was that analogy, let's just say over 6 months, you went from 100 to like maybe, I don't know, 170, right? If you're now here, Anna, you speak at this level, you make decisions at this level, and you certainly don't say and do things you shouldn't say or do when your emotional baseline is here versus here. So you interview better. You're more enjoyable to be around. I mean, Anna, who the fuck would you rather, hire? Anna 1.0 or Anna fucking 7.0? I mean,
And
it's
I would
common
like to
sense.
comment, I would
Sure.
like to
Yeah.
comment here right now because, for people when they will watch this video, for them to understand how it's working. For example, in the beginning in our work, when I was getting email from the client, I don't know, some not so much positive,
Mhm.
this fear started to come into me, and I was feeling bad. I was feeling depressed. I don't know. But after, when I will get such a mail, very like this strict, serious, something is not right in the project, and after I was doing this program, I was creating such email in such a good state of mind that I was really surprised, and the
Yeah.
clients respond to me also in very good way. So it's
Sure.
very big difference how
Yeah.
you act, how you present yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's really amazing because I mean, I always tell people like you have to think of yourself, Anna, like a professional athlete in the sport of life. What do professional athletes are not perfect. Professional athletes still need rest. Professional athletes still get sore, but a professional athlete can perform at a much higher level than most people physically. But what do all professional athletes do before they compete? They warm up. So it really gives you, in the most practical sense, the ability, in the most practical way, to literally resume your current most powerful, joyful, emotion, strength, and self. And then when you intersect with the rest of the world, they're literally getting the best version of you that's possible. I mean, again, so that's what changes everything. You interview better, you're more engaged, you engage your clients better. In relationships, you don't say and do things you shouldn't say or do. It changes everything. I mean, from the ground floor. And I always tell people the area that most people experience a difference, and your story really speaks that so well here. I always tell people the area where most people first notice a big difference is in their work and professional life. Because think about it,
Mhm.
we don't go on dates every day, right?
Of
Right?
course.
But you're always going to work. You're going to work every day. You're always kind of bombarded with stuff every day. So that's a place where you get to experience the gym, the brain gym, the most, where you're constantly doing repetitions. So I mean, I can't make this shit up here. How many people tell me, like, within 6 months you're getting promotions, they're making more money. You got double. I mean, but you're showing up in that gym, the work gym, every single day. So you're getting always an opportunity to practice your skills in that area. Now, if someone, like you here, dealt with a breakup, well, they're not going on dates every single day, so you don't get to practice that quite as often, quite as frequently. So the area where people usually notice the biggest change the quickest is in their professional life because they're constantly able to practice a tool there. So usually it's a little bit of a laggard where, like, maybe 6 months, a year later, all of a sudden they meet that person like you just did there. But usually it's in the business and work area people notice that big change in life first.
Yeah, it's true.
More money, recognition, whatever that might be. But again, it's always
Yeah.
common sense. If you lived your whole life here, now you're here, how the fuck can you not get a better life? It's inevitable.
Yes.
It's inevitable. Simply
And
that.
just, just a reminder for all people who will watch this video to stick to your better version always, in
Yeah.
everything, especially in your private life. If you want such a better partner, you should know not to settle less than this, not settle down for something more mediocre. So you
Yeah.
should keep in mind your better version.
And I'm not going to go into details of the practice here at all. Like, again, people are not going to create this by themselves. And yeah, anyway. But I'll just say this here for your practice, what you just said there, you don't go really well with that. Madonna's song, Express Yourself.
No.
When we got the call, go on YouTube, put in Madonna Express Yourself, but look at the version where you can see the lyrics. See if the
Okay.
lyrics don't go really, you might want to use that.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah,
I will note it down.
but look at the lyrics. Look at the lyrics.
Mhm.
It's kind of amazing, actually. Madonna's a genius. So, anyways, yeah, no, great stuff. So I'm gonna ask you one last little question here, maybe two last questions. Anna, how do you feel about your future now?
So inspiring, so motivated. I'm just waiting. Not sitting and waiting, just waiting for all the beautiful things just to happen, to come to me. So yeah, so positive about the future, for the present especially.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. I mean, literally, from a biological perspective, the greatest version of you who's ever walked the fucking planet's right here on this call. There's new levels, of course, but literally the most conditioned, emotionally strengthened version of you ever who's walked the planet's right here and now. And it's you can always use that phrase, you know what? I'm grateful for how I get to live today, how I get to feel, literally even more independent from my external world, which is real freedom by definition, knowing that the next level from a biological perspective is always 72 hours away. You are always 72 hours away from the next level as long as you stick with it. Now, again, we're
Mhm.
not talking like, if you're now at 300, we're not talking from 300 to like 400, but 300, hey, 305, right? These next levels. So yeah, it just gets such a pleasurable experience. You're like, you know what? I can't believe I get to live like this, especially knowing that there's another level waiting for me as long as I stick with what I'm doing.
So what about the next level? What about an upgrade for this program? Do you have?
I do. We'll talk about that separately. I do.
Okay.
It's and now I'll say this because I think it's really important here. Remember, Anna, I was never here to hold on to people forever. I don't have technically another program, but what
Mhm.
it is here's the organic answer here. I mean, I still have the same program that I had before, but I mean, I think you can appreciate. I think I delivered a pretty awesome level. What you took 4 years ago is quite a bit better now. You know what I'm saying? It's the same program, but it's a much more advanced version of it. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
constantly making what I do better and better and better. So it's, yeah, but we'll talk about that separately. That's not really a conversation for here.
Okay, that's good to
So,
know. I'm looking forward
I
to
mean,
it.
I'm all, it was, I think it was the best of its kind 4 or 5 years ago. It's way better now,
Mhm. Okay. Great.
so I'll just leave it at that. It's not a new program though. It's an evolved version of it, right? And anything you do, right? We're always evolving ourselves, what we
Of
teach,
course.
we do. So it's just a more advanced version, which organically is the sheer nature of the fact that I've been teaching this for so long here. Look, we'll talk about this, when I see you on the alumni call, in a couple weeks here. But you know, anything worth accomplishing, and this is great for everyone here as well here. Like I said earlier in the call, anything worth accomplishing in life, Anna, requires the right process, discipline and consistency, and a little patience, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember the year, but there's a training in your program you took with me years ago called There's a Progression Must Take Place. As human beings, we can only go so far so fast for two reasons. One, we do need our body's a survival mechanism, Anna. You do need to stimulate it to create that growth biologically, whether it's, muscle, physical potentiality, or emotional. You do need to stimulate it and then allow that growth period, right? But the other
Mhm.
part is you can only go so far so fast as well because you only get so many opportunities in a given week to really test your might and practice your skills. I don't know if you remember this here, but when people start me, I always say I like analogies. You remember this here? One of my favorite analogies is the martial arts analogy. If I was someone's martial arts instructor, right, I could be the best in the world. This is not my forte, by the way, but I could be the best in the world, and I could teach somebody a really amazing submission hold or whatever that might be. And even if that person knew intellectually, oh my God, this is amazing, this is going to work, it's one thing to understand it intellectually. It's another to have the opportunity to practice it and succeed
Mhm.
with it. Once you succeed with it, you say, oh my God, I can do this here. So you can only go so far so fast for those reasons here. So there's always an aspect of kind of feeling your way as you go along. You
Mhm.
understand? There's the stimulate, you're stimulating and you're having experiences, but that's what allows you to grow and evolve. So, just by the sheer nature of coaching for all these years here, I'm constantly I have challenges too. I don't live in a fucking monastery or forest somewhere.
Awesome.
I have my own challenges. I'm married. I got clients, I'm always getting my workouts, but just like I encourage you to do, when I have them, I smile about it and say, great. This is the next level here. It is what it is here. Again, Superman would not be Superman unless Lex Luthor showed up every once in a while. So it's just sheer nature of what I do. The program's just gotten better and better and better. But it's the same program. It's just a
Mhm.
it's just an organically evolved version of it by the sheer nature of what I do. Make
Okay.
sense? We talk about
Yeah.
it later, if you really want to have that conversation. But there's no other program, technically. Again, I took a lot of pride in what you did 4 years ago as a true one and done. Okay?
Yeah.
Makes sense? I mean, look,
Yeah.
some people like working me, so they'll work with me ongoing, to accelerate them, but it's not a new program. Okay?
Mhm.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll leave that for now. So, last question, Anna, for anyone watching this here, is there anything like if look, I'll actually put it this way here. There's going to be someone inevitably who watches this here that is a skeptic that is suffering and dealing with the most top 1, 2, 3 times they've ever had. I'm amazed, even last year, how many people like that I worked with in the last year or two that I knew they were going through a tough time, but I didn't know how bad it was until they did this video testimonial. Like they were even darker than I thought they were. So I know by now there's gonna be someone who watches this video that is going through one of the shittiest times they've ever had in their life, if not number one. And they're probably fearful. They might be in a financial situation where they're scared about investing themselves. They might have had a bad experience in the past with another coach that maybe just talked big, didn't deliver. If there is someone right now who's gonna, maybe not right now because I haven't uploaded this call yet, but if there's somebody who watches this video in the future and there was somebody that who's watching this going through a really tough time and is really wants this to work but is hesitant, what would you want to tell them, knowing that they're going through that time that they're going through here? What kind of advice would you give them as far as giving them an opportunity to take a real stand for themselves?
I would like to tell them that tough time can be really experienced with much more, less effort, much more you will feel better if you will take the course from you. It's really important because you are not a coach who's just telling something from your mind and teaching without any practice, and you don't have any empathy and so on. I really like you are the one of the best coaches in the world. For me, it's like this because I have been after on many consultation and there is no results, but here there is result.
Yeah.
Not only for the present, not only during this program, but even after, even all the time. Even I can share about my situation. We had recently with my husband very difficult time, very big challenge. And even during this challenge, I was doing my program. And my husband was really shocked and surprised how I was not giving up even this difficult time. So believe me, who is watching now the video, you will have such opportunity to have a better life, a better relationship, better everything.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you for that, Anna. So let me close this note here, just make a little comment here. Again, for anyone watching this here, I know you're probably going through a really tough time, probably top 3, if not number 1 you've ever had here. I want to say a couple things to you if you're listening here. If you'd like to have a conversation, happy to have that. All I ask is you're a serious person. You're willing to take real action for yourself. This is not a fucking magic trick. At the end of the day, what I teach is a 30-minute emotional strengthening process. I didn't say this is easy. Yeah, I'm not promising you're going to see unicorns the morning you wake up or birds chirping, flying over your fucking. If you've ever gone, for anyone listening here, if you've ever wanted or had a real compelling reason to change yourself physically, well, guess what? That requires a real workout. And real workouts do require real discipline. They are hard and you have to push. But you look like a Greek god or Greek goddess in a few months. That's an amazing thing to have here. But anything in life worth accomplishing, again, requires the right process, the right discipline and consistency, and of course, a little patience. If 100 pounds is the analogy of the way you've been your entire life and you realize you've been going through the same pattern over and over, I'm not going to fix everything in 1 week. I didn't promise that one here, but I'll give you real momentum in the first week. Very important though, you're coming into this for the best friend you'll ever have in this life. And that best friend, of course, would be yourself. You have to do this for you. You have to you have to do this for yourself to break your pattern because you deserve it and you're worth it. But I do require, again, discipline, consistency, and again, the right attitude that, again, we're going to do something, you and I, that you've never done before, and we're going to build that emotional muscle from the ground fucking floor. It is what it is, so you might as well smile about it. But if you're doing this for yourself here and you're really tired of that emotional roller coaster, great, let's have a conversation. You can go to refocusonhappiness.com. You can book a call there. As well, I don't have any problem earning your trust. You want to read my book? It's Refocus on Power on Amazon. Just do nothing for a fucking second. The book is going to give you even a fraction of what you get from working with me. The book does not talk back to you. There's no feedback. Again, I assure you, we have a conversation. I'll teach you stuff in the first 20 minutes. Nobody has ever taught you before. So the book is meant to be a glimpse of something much, much, much better. Anyway, Anna, thank you so much for your sharing here. You and I will stay on a call and talk for a little bit here, of course, and then I'll have you on the alumni call, which will be super awesome in a few weeks. And again, thank you so much for sharing your experience. And yeah, we'll be talking soon. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.